inspired your journey from an aspiring cricketer to representing UAE on the international stage?
When I grew up, it was never in my mind.
It was not by choice, it was by force. When you started, it might be really a challenging thing. Do you remember any challenge at that time which you faced?
Not just one, but there were a couple of things, that always wanted to hold me back. I come from a very beautiful place, by the way, which is Kashmir. Playing cricket in that area was not very appreciated at that time.
Some of the life's greatest lessons, they are learned through challenges rather than victories.
I have learned from my failures more than my successes, because when you fail at something, all the doors are closed.
The greatest lesson in life are not always learned within four walls. They are discovered through courage, teamwork, resilience, and the willingness to rise after every challenge. Welcome to IncluED Talks, celebrating perspectives from inclusive conversations to global impact, where we bring together inspiring leaders, innovators, educators, and change makers whose journey encourage us to rethink education, leadership, and human potential. This is DrSR, your host for IncluED Talk. Today's conversation reminds us that sports is far more than competition. It is a powerful classroom that teaches discipline, resilience, inclusion, empathy, collaboration, and confidence, qualities that every learner needs to thrive in an ever-changing world. Join us as we explore how experiences beyond the boundaries can help us shape future-ready learners and create schools where every child has the opportunity to belong, grow, lead, and succeed. Our guest today is Ms. Chaya Mughal, an accomplished international cricketer, Women's Development Officer at the Emirates Cricket Board, UAE, former captain of the UAE Women's National Cricket Team, coach, mentor, and a passionate advocate for girls' participation in sports and youth development. Through her inspiring journey of perseverance, leadership, and excellence, she continues to empower young people to dream fearlessly, embrace challenges, and discover their fullest potential both on and beyond the field. Welcome, Ms. Chaya. So good to have you with us. It's an honor and a privilege to have you with us.
Thank you so much. And I'm grateful that I get this opportunity to share my thoughts, something pertaining to schools, which has been a very close place for myself, wherein I have learned, wherein I would say I started to have those dreams in my mind, and that's the place which is very close to my heart. So thank you for allowing me to share my thoughts and ideas today.
Most welcome. And as we know that you have been in such a position where many challenges, so many things keep on happening every minute by minute or second by second. And we know that every inspiring journey starts with a dream, but it is sustained by the courage, resilience, and purpose.
True.
Before we talk about the leadership, and the impact, what we believe IncluED Talk is about celebrating perspectives from inclusive conversation to global impact. But before we just enter into that conversation, let's begin at the very beginning. Looking back, what inspired your journey from an aspiring cricketer to representing UAE on the international stage?
I think when I grew up, it was never in my mind that I'm going to represent an international sports at such a level. It was never imagined or thought process in my mind at that age.
It was not by choice.
It was
by force.
No, I would say I just started having the love for the game, and it was just a bat and a ball in my hand. some open space, wherein I started experimenting with what cricket is. But I would say the first impression of me thinking about choosing this sports as on a serious note, I think it started when my parents started believing in me, because long before I thought that I could do it on a bigger scale, I think they were the one who thought that she's got a potential. So I would say that uh, they were the ones who identified first this. And I
Their
would say,
belief.
being in India, it's like in your blood, because
Cricket,
everyone
yes.
in India is a cricket passionate, isn't it? So I always say this in a funny way, if you throw a pebble at somebody, it will fall on a cricketer's head, right?
That's so
So,
wonderful to
yeah.
hear
So,
that.
growing up in my family, I've seen my brother, my father watching those international games being played on TV. And I always used to wonder, what is this thing that's keeping everyone engaged? And this is a sport, which I think everyone should play. And I started playing gully cricket like any other Indian. So, yeah, as I mentioned, it was not like a major thought in my mind that I'm going to represent UAE or being the captain of UAE national women's cricket team at some stage in my life. But it just happened with having the love with the sport that I started enjoying it first, and I think it gave me the confidence to
That
adapt
means
it
that your
on a serious
parents
note.
who had sown that seed of belief that you can just go into that field, particularly because women's into the cricket, when you might have started, that was a big thing.
Yeah.
Now, yes, with your inspirations, I have seen so many girls walking on the field, and then you training them and coaching them. Now it has become that awareness is there. But
Yes.
when you started, it might be really a challenging thing. Do you remember any challenge at that time which you faced when you thought, okay, let me enter into this thing?
Not just one, but there were a couple of things, that always wanted to hold me back from playing cricket. As we all have come from that perception wherein cricket was thought to be a gentleman's game, but not anymore, as you rightly mentioned. uh, I would say, coming from a place, which is not very friendly. I come from a very beautiful place, by the way, which is Kashmir in India.
Beautiful.
Yes, and playing cricket in that area was not very appreciated at that time. But as I said, I've got my parents' support, and they were the ones who pushed me to go beyond my limits, especially my brother, for that matter. So we had to literally travel a lot to train and practice at the stadium where we used to train at that time. So from my house, I had to first walk a mile or two, dragging my kit bag all the way, which is pretty heavy, and then take the local transport, the minibuses, and then travel again 30 to 40 minutes in that, and then walk again after I get down from that minibus, inside the stadium, which is another 2 miles. And then I used to reach at the stadium. And this continued for nearly, I would say, 5 to 6 years without any break.
Wow.
Not even on Sundays, I used to take rest.
That's
So,
that's the passion.
yes,
how
that's
it
the
comes
passion,
from.
that's the resilience, that's something that I wanted to do something, that's like, it keeps you pushing beyond your limits, and that's something that keeps you always on your toes, and you want to come out of your comfort zone and do something which is different. And then, as I said, my brother, he's very supportive, like my father and mother. So he said, this is taking a long time, why don't you take a two-wheeler, which was there in the house. So he is the first person who taught me how to ride a bike.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
So
and
nice
then
to
I
hear that.
started
Yeah.
going on my own.
Generally, it is seen that people all often celebrate the trophies, medals, mementos, and the achievements. Yet, some of the life's greatest lessons they are learned through challenges rather than victories.
Yes.
As you have mentioned that you traveled across for so long to reach to the stadium, and that's how the whole, with the support of the parents, your sibling, all
Yeah.
this came across. Now, generally, if we have to just see the true success, it is much deeper. It's not that what everybody sees it across, that looks so beautiful, so pretty for the outsiders to watch from the other side. But the one who has gone through that knows how deeper it is. Then if I have to ask that how this sport has reshaped your definition of the achievement.
Uh, well, I think awards and accolades is something that everybody wants to have, isn't it? That silverware in the house, when it's kept, everyone comes to your house and you've got an opportunity to talk about that event, which is showcasing
But
your
the
talent over
struggle
there.
is so huge.
It is,
behind.
they just get to see that
Yeah.
silverware lying there, but the struggle behind it, the story that has come along with that, it's a different thing altogether. So maybe when you are young, when you are growing up, I think these awards and trophies mean as a source of recognition, but I believe that it doesn't define you, isn't it? One bad day cannot define that you're not a good person. Or I would say, let's take an example in cricket. On a given day, I may get out on zero, or maybe in my 4 overs, I get thrashed for around 40 runs without a wicket. But that doesn't define me as a bad player, isn't it?
Right.
Cricket teaches us to stay humble. Not just cricket, but I would say any other sports. It teaches us to stay humble. And this humbleness, I think when we carry it forward, it teaches us to remain grounded, to know that, where we have come from, what are the lessons that we have learned. It's not just the accolades or the trophies which are there that we are working for, but as a human being, what are the things that we have earned or how we have evolved over the period of time, which is very important. Now, success at that time, maybe when I was young, could be awards or trophies. But when I look at the things that I've gone through my phases, through my career, through my life, I feel now success for me is how many shapes or how many lives I could have a positive impact on, like how many people I can turn them from negative into positive. I think success for me is this now.
You are connected with schools in such a positive manner. Your contribution to the schools has been visible across the countries. It's not only UAE or Dubai schools or Sharjah schools, but it is across the whole global. I would say that your contribution has been to that. You represent Emirates. You represent in that strength, in that manner. People see you as an inspiring person. And we know that schools where you are connected, and schools are where children first discover who they are and then what they are capable of becoming. That's the general thing what that happens into the process. These schools are not only the learning places that okay, just go academics, you have to just study and then finish it up, but they are places where confidence, character and dreams begin to take shape. In this, how can schools become environments where every child discovers confidence, purpose, and potential through sports, and particularly through cricket, which you relate with?
Yeah, that's a very good point because, as I mentioned earlier, also, school is the place where I think I started first dreaming about that I can do something, isn't it? So, because that is the first place where we come out of our house and we go to school every day, isn't it? So that is like out of our comfort, we are getting into a place where we don't find our parents surrounding us. So schools, first of all, have to be literally giving us the confidence to have those dreams. And I would say that teachers have a major role to play in this because they come with some, I would say, invisible powers, to find the hidden potential in a child. Or the spark, that could initiate that fire in a kid. I remember my teacher, when I was a kid, I never thought that I could be a sports person. I was very good in arts. I was very good in calligraphy. I was very good.
Do you still do art and
I
calligraphy?
still do that. I think I've got it from my mom because she is a very good artist. So yeah, but there was one of my sports teacher who once just told me, come and play with the boys. I never thought that I could do that. I used to play back in home with my brother or my father, just the gully cricket. So that's the first time when I played a little professional cricket in a match scenario. And though I didn't get bat to bowl, but I was pretty good in fielding. So he identified the talent or potential, and he then later on spoke to my parents, why don't you send her for a formal or professional training, that could guide her to become a better in this, knowing, not knowing the major plans behind this, but then he just simply said, just send her for the training and maybe she's good at it. So if that person wasn't there who could identify that potential or a spark in me, I wouldn't have been here today, talking to all the girls in the school or doing this podcast with you for that matter. But I would say that schools definitely have a major role to play, because first they give you confidence, they give you it gives you a daring to dream, like you dare to dream because you find that environment very cozy and comfortable for you. You find that teachers are there to protect you, and then you slowly started opening up and show your wings one at a time, and then showcase what all potentials and talent you've got, and the teachers are there to guide you further. So I would say schools definitely have a major role in this.
We believe that inclusion begins with belonging. And what better place can be there than the schools?
Yes, true.
Before a learner can truly excel, they must first feel accepted. And that's where the respect and the values comes in.
Yes.
When the acceptance happens in the team, like whether it is a classroom, whether it is a cricket ground or any other area. How can sports help school to create these communities where every learner feels included, respected, and empowered to participate? Because there may be some very good children who has those potentials,
Yes.
but sometimes they feel shy, they are introvert, they cannot step out and say that, oh, I love this is what I feel that I can be best at it, and wants to enter into that. So how can that inclusion be brought together where each one feels that importance, that value, that respect?
Yeah, very good point. I think when I was thinking about this word inclusion, one thing that caught my attention was inclusion doesn't mean to let everyone in, that everyone is allowed to do this. Inclusion means that when everyone you let in has a specific role to play, isn't it?
Right.
It's not like all the class, we invite them to participate, but they don't know what we are doing. Like in a cricket, there are 3 things that a person can do: batting, bowling, and fielding, right? But if a person doesn't know what role they are playing, if I'm a bowler, I should know that my 4 overs means I have to bowl 2 in initial power play or 2 in the death overs or maybe in the beginning. And if I am a fielder, what is my role? Either I'm stopping a single or doubles or maybe a boundary, If I have clarity of my roles and goals, I have a clearer picture in my mind. So inclusion comes with the same thing. When we invite students to participate in certain things, I think we should give them a specific role to do, right? And one more thing I would like to emphasize here is not just having gifted or talented students, those who are already doing well off in all the things, but I think we should include those kids who have talents, which they possess, they don't know, but we should give them
Hidden
this
talent.
opportunity to come and provide them the role that would cater to their talent so that they are going to open it up in front of others. That is very, very important.
Does it mean that belonging should come before the performance?
Definitely, yes. They if they feel that they belong to this place, I think performance comes much later, isn't it? Because when you feel that sense of belongingness, you get that confidence. And once you get that confidence, the performance is there.
We know that just like every athlete, every learner experiences that moments of disappointment and self-doubt that will I be able to do that?
Yeah.
And when this question comes, the difference often lies in how we respond to those moments.
True.
How we take the challenge, how we clear that obstacle, how we jump over it and make sure that we are on the right spot. How can schools help learners develop resilience So they view the setbacks which they gain when they are walking through that path which they have opted as a stepping stones rather than barriers.
That's a very, very important lesson that we need to teach our kids, especially from a very young age. Because as they grew up, with the kind of thinking or mentality that they grow, it's going to stay there for the longer period, maybe throughout their life. So it's very important to impart this education that, success and failure is not the opposite of success, I would say.
Right.
Many a times, in my life, I may not get the result that I wanted. Giving up is always an option, right? But I would say half of the battle is won when you come out of your bed and you take that step, which
How
is
do
very
you
important.
recover from the disappointment?
Yeah, so it's I think resilience is when you get back after a hurt or after you have fallen, after you have failed in something. But when you think about it, you've taken a note on the things that you've done, what are the mistakes that happened, when you emphasize all those things, you have, just absorbed it inside you, and then you decide to get up anyways. I think that's resilience for me. Many a times in my life, I had tournaments wherein I scored like not even in double digits, but that doesn't prove that I'm not capable of doing it, isn't it? So it's a process that we have to develop. It's a training of the mind that we have to start doing from a very young age, as I mentioned. It's like telling ourselves that yes, I can do it, isn't it? So teachers again have a major role. If I talk about school's perspective, teachers again have a major role to say in this, because the moment you go to a child, put a pat on their back and say, listen, I've got you. I believe that you can do this. That one word or one sentence can change the life. Right? Do you agree or
Rightly
not?
said. Totally agree
Yes.
to that.
So, which is very, very important. I have learned from my failures more than my successes, because when you fail at something, all the doors are closed. It's like
You
the
feel
noises
like
are
all the
blocked.
doors are closed.
Yes. I tell you one simple thing. When we win a match, nobody discusses because everyone is busy celebrating the victory and all that. But when you lose a game, all of us, we
Fingers are
sit
pointed
down.
and the criticism starts with
Yes,
that.
and that's when you reflect on yourself. You reflect on what has gone wrong, because this was our plan B, plan A, this was our plan B. Why it didn't happen, all those things. When we go through all those things in a systematic way, I think it teaches us how can we be better. And
That's
next
why
time you don't repeat
you
it.
are an inspiration to those young
Mhm.
girls who often see you that as a role model and they wanted to be like you. I've seen that across the girls and all when they are playing. No, Chaya ma'am does it in this way. Why can't we do? Why can't we bowl in this manner? Why can't we bat in this manner?
Yeah.
On the field, I have seen the girls trying to imitate
Yeah.
certain of your
And
things.
it's not just cricket related things. Once I was visiting one of my centers, and I just went in there, and two girls came running to me, and they were having long hair before, and they came to me, ma'am, just see. I said, hey, nice. What? They're like, what is the difference? So first I just couldn't notice it, because I visit like after a couple of weeks those centers which are running, and then they said, ma'am, we cut our hair like
That's
yours.
what I was about to tell
and
you.
and that really had a very deep impact on me, because similarly it just happens on a similar note in the schools also. A teacher is looking at maybe 30 students in a class, right? But those 30 students with two eyes, that means 60 eyes are
watching them.
continuously gazing at you, right? Whatever we do, as the role models or as the people whom people look up to, it is very important to have a positive mindset, to have a positive body language, to have a positive impact in the society that we are doing, isn't it? So that whatever they pick up from us, it's going to help the society in the end.
That's why it is said that representation has the power to change or the charge, the aspirations that is there. People who are aspiring, okay, if they have a role model, if they look at somebody, then okay, they get that inspiration from them, and that's how they are charged, fully charged
Yes.
to face anything, whatever comes across, and then lead that thing or get into that thing. Now, how can schools empower more girls to participate confidently? Still, we say that we are in the modern world,
Yeah.
but somewhere or the other, back of the minds, that 0.1% also, if we have to just cover it up, still it is there that, oh, girls cricket, okay, let's think about it. Means that comes. It is not that, okay, you want to go for the cricket, you want to go for the sports, okay, go for it. That instantly or immediate spontaneously doesn't come. Still,
Yes.
still they take some pause, they think, and then they start discussions on that whether my girl should enter into this field or not. But in that regard, how can schools empower to just girls to participate confidently and lead fearlessly and pursue the opportunities without limitations? Is there any tips which you wanted to give to the schools, or you want to advise or suggest the schools so that many girls comes into the sports, as you have been a structure in front of
True.
them to take care about
Yes.
that?
I would say this is a very good medium for me to talk to all the schools on this note. I would
Most
really like
welcome.
to tell all the schools to first, if they want to have this mindset change, we have to first change or break the stereotypes which were there from very long, that, certain sports are only meant for boys only and not for girls. So here I would like to say to all the girls that there is nothing that they cannot do, isn't it? And it's not just words which I'm just throwing at them, but when I say this, I literally mean it. Schools, if they want to let girls also participate in all the events, I think they need to give first opportunities, isn't it? Opportunities without thinking about gender. And that starts from the PE lessons.
Are
Right?
there still any barriers which exist, in particularly
I would
in this part of the globe?
I have seen the change happening, but there are
Because this
still
area
certain
has been
things.
particular for the girls' sports
Yes.
and encouraging them
Yes.
and putting them into the spotlights also many of the
Exactly.
times.
And that doesn't only mean that teachers have to take responsibility for doing that. Parents, for that matter, parents, most of the parents, when they know that girls are going to play outdoor sports, they do not encourage. Why? Because outdoor, it's sunny, it's hot, and they think that girls are soft, they cannot bear the heat, or maybe their complexion.
Is that the misconception?
I think it's still there. Many people believe that way, and that's the reason why majority of the girls are still, are still reluctant to come and play outdoor sports. You take an example for the PE lessons in a school. I have seen it many a times. Boys, without fear, they'll just go out in the sun and play for that 30 or 40 minutes with the PE teachers, having fun out in the sun without even worrying about the sweat and everything, right? But girls, if you tell them, okay, let's play cricket today,
They will have few
out of
questions.
30,
That's
I
what the
think only
mindset is
5 or
there.
6 girls will agree to do that, right? And I would say it's not only the teachers think that they have to push the girls for that. It should start from parents, first of all. From the home, we have to educate them. We have to let them know that, it's not just for fun that they are going to play. They've got a serious role to play in cricket now, because cricket is one of the fastest growing industry in this world now, isn't it? One of the fastest growing sports in this country, or in any other country for that matter. There are a lot of opportunities, not just for senior players, but for under 19s as well. We've got Asia Cup to play. We've got World Cup qualifiers. And if we qualify, we get to perform at the global stage, which is nothing like it before, So when I say that the opportunities are there, and if you want to participate, you need to actually work hard for this, right? And school is a place where we can start creating
That's the right
our
place for that.
yes, creating our routines, and I would say a little formal training for that. So schools definitely have to give equal opportunities to boys and girls without gender discrimination as such, without even thinking that certain sports are meant for boys and certain for girls. Nothing like it.
Uh, in today's world,
Mhm.
score matters in academics. And that's how, no matter what, in the schools, when we say that, okay, physical education has become a mandate now
Mhm.
across the schools,
Yeah.
most of the schools, and it is mandatory for everybody to opt for one of the special particular thing, maybe basketball, maybe athletics, maybe cricket or football, whatever is of their choice.
Mhm.
And if some girls are there who, particularly, why am I focusing on girls? Because you represent
Yes.
that huge community where things goes into inclusive manner in
Mhm.
particularly.
Mhm.
So here, the girls or any student who wants to enter into any of the sports, they have to prove themselves into the academics also, because that comes from back of the home, that okay, you are in the school, you have to score academically very well,
Mhm.
so that in future the career or the job or the future sustainable things to survive in the family, that matters a lot, still it is there. And sports may have thought, some who are talented or who achieve that, they may be using it or they may be looking at it as a career, but
Mhm.
others still look it as a side or a supplement.
Yeah.
And in that, we know that there is academic pressure, that is there is social expectations and emotional challenges as well. As that time, supporting well-being has become as important as supporting academic growth.
True.
Now, how can sports contribute to emotional well-being? We know resilience is developed,
Hmm.
discipline is there, and sportsman spirit, what we say, we should change the word sportsman spirit instead of sportswoman spirit, that can be there. So this, all these things is there, but how can sports contribute to emotional wellness, then confidence and healthy relationship within schools?
Hmm. Well, yeah, again, I would say sports doesn't cater to only your physical development as such, but it teaches you many other qualities that, as a sports person, I have learned over the period of time. For example, teamwork. It's one of the greatest thing that you can learn when you play in a team or when you are surrounded by the people around. And I think teamwork is a common language. It doesn't really matter
Coordination,
from which, yeah,
collaborations,
from
all
which country you
happens.
have come from, or what are the talents that you possess. When you come in as a team or when you work collaboratively, it teaches you that we have to support each other, right?
And even it helps to release the stress also,
Exactly.
which
And
is
not
the
just
main cause
that.
of well-being.
Yes, that's very true. And sometimes, when somebody fails at certain thing, they don't know how to overcome that. I think when we are in a sports environment, it teaches you to get up and work hard again. That restart, I would say, it's always, when you are a sports person, it helps you to restart afresh again. Uh, if I talk about certain qualities which are very important for your social well-being, I think it's resilience, one of the most important thing, because many a times failures are there. Failure doesn't mean that you have failed in certain things and you cannot do that thing again, but it means you've not done something correctly, you have to redo it again, isn't it? So that only comes when you've got people, positive people surrounded
Mhm.
within your proximity, within your reach, and those people are showering you with good words and positive feedback, or critical feedback for that matter, that will help you to grow, right? Sports teaches us, it teaches us how to overcome uh, an incident or a scenario, which is there, which you're not able to come out, but there are different ways of doing
It
it.
strengthens us
It
with the
strengthens
emotional.
you emotionally, it strengthens you mentally, it strengthens you physically, it strengthens you overall as a person, isn't
It
it?
becomes a
It builds your
safe,
character.
yeah, it becomes a safe space
It
for
becomes
self
a safe
expressions
space.
also. At
Definitely.
times that happens in
Definitely.
that.
Because you, at times, should know how to communicate what you're going through, isn't it? Many people uh, used to stay quiet. They don't want to express what they're undergoing through, or what is the thing that is bothering them, isn't it?
Sometimes it happens that, okay, if I showcase or if I put it up or vent it out with somebody, I may be felt as
It
like
may,
I'm a
yeah,
weak person or I'm not
exactly,
able to
exactly.
cope up.
But
And maybe because of that, many of the students, they might not be sharing
yes,
at home, and that's why the counseling, and that's why sports can play an important
exactly,
place, like
exactly.
releasing the energy.
Yes, that's
Generally,
that's that's
that's the thing.
absolutely right. When we come to this, that expressing your thoughts and your beliefs, even when you are admitting to something that you're not good at, it doesn't make you vulnerable to something. It doesn't show that you're weaker at some stage. Even in sports, you may have seen many international players taking a break from it. Why? Because they want to have a mental rest for themselves. They want to just stop whatever things are happening, admit what they're going through. Many a times I have seen sports people giving interviews
Yes.
talking about their mental health. They're like, we are going through this phase, we want to take a break. It's okay to say that. It's okay to admit. There's no harm in doing it, isn't it? Because there is always, again, I would say this is an education. We have to educate people regarding this. There is a lot of ignorance around. Many people don't know about it. So we have to let them know that it's okay to share your
Hesitation
weakness.
is there still
Yes,
to share that, okay,
yeah,
I am not well mentally. Physically, we say that, okay, I am not feeling well, I have fever, I have cough, I have these, I have
yes,
that. All those we express.
yes,
But that internal self expressions which comes out to say and feel that courage that, okay, yes, I am not feeling mentally well, I
mhm,
am stressed. And that's where the future learners have to be there,
yeah,
who can, as you rightly said, has to collaborate, has
yeah,
to adapt, has to solve the problems.
yeah.
All these are the real life applications
Mhm.
what we
True. And
have
and
that
I think
throughout the
here
life.
the teamwork comes in the picture when you discuss this with your teammates whom you confide in, isn't it? The coach, which is like the strongest of all the relations that we can have in team sports, wherein the coach comes in and you should actually open up about everything that you're going through before a game, right?
Right.
There is nothing that you should hide, because if you are hiding something and you're out there to play certain things, you will not be able to give your 100%. So coach comes in the picture there.
What are those valuable life skills that sports helps to develop, and how can schools intentionally nurture these qualities to prepare future ready learners?
I think, again, teamwork is very, very important, because
Adaptations.
adaptations are there. Uh, Resilience is one important thing. And out of all these things, I would say uh, there is something called as discipline, which is very important, isn't it? That we have to teach kids from a very young age. Time management, absolute important at this stage, because right now I've seen many kids who are not able to manage their time well because they don't know how to do it. I think schools need to teach them how to follow the timetables. Schools need to impart this education of how to use their time at home, while they are doing certain things. They are just busy doing that and they forget the other thing. I uh, I've been a sports person when I was a kid, maybe uh, when I was in grade 5 or 6. I think I played my first nationals, which was judo. And since then, I have learned how to balance two things together. It's either studies or my cricket, or it's either my work or playing cricket. So every time you should know how to balance the two things, right? There's a very thin line in balancing the things, and that the time management comes in the picture. As a kid, when I used to know that I have a tournament in 30 days, I used to start preparing for my exams now, because I know later on I won't get time. So might as well use this time wherein I have ample time to prepare for my examinations now. So that's how we used to plan, so that we can have a balance between studies and or academics and sports together. And that's what I've been doing. And I think I did well. I did pretty good in that. And then the same thing helped me when I started working. I was a teacher by profession. I've nearly taught for more than 5 years or 6, 7 years in UAE.
What was your subject?
I was a homeroom teacher.
Ah,
Yes,
okay.
for primary.
Nurturing the young
Yes,
minds and
and that's why I'm very close to these kids, because I can go up to their level of understanding and make them understand what is important and how can they learn certain things, and coming from a sports background, I think physical aspect was always a positive yes for me. So every time I used to take lessons, I used to take them outdoors, have those collaborative things doing together, and it really helped the kids to grow.
Yeah, every learner brings
It
those
is.
strength,
Yes.
talents, and potential. Only the thing is, we have to nurture
We
them
have to
into the
nurture
right
those
direction.
qualities.
And one of the educational's greatest responsibility, if we see, is helping that child discover where they can truly shine.
Yes.
If that is tapped properly, and the child can do wonders. That's what I feel through my experience as well when we relate with the children. Then how can schools move a single definition of success beyond that thing? If the schools has to think beyond that one single definition of success and celebrate multiple pathways through which learners can discover confidence, purpose, and excellence. How can school think beyond that?
Well, I think schools need to take an initiative uh, to make every child feel valued first. Once they feel valued, once they feel that they belong to this place, this school, I think the outcome will come naturally, isn't it? So at that,
Redefining success
I
can be
would
there.
say redefining success is very, very important. It's not just through grades or those merits or the certificates that kids usually get it, but schools have to make sure to have a safe failure landing for kids. I would use this word, that schools have to make it okay for students to fail. you know Even parents, for that matter, they should be educated to know that it's okay if they are not performing well. It's okay, because there is always a new beginning to each day, isn't it?
If we have to redefine or redesign school education using everything what sports have taught you, what would every learner experience before they graduate?
Yes, I
Is there
think.
any bucket list which is still to be ticked in where you wanted to redesign or reframe those things where?
Yes, I think one thing that I would really want kids to have it with them when they graduate from a school is to know that failures are important lessons in life. Because I've seen many kids, they fall apart, when they are not good at something, or when they
But
don't.
how can that be put up into the framework? Because failures is, yes, we measure it how many times they have failed, but there is no particular measurement or
Yeah.
tangibles where we can identify that, okay, this is a failure or something. How can we include all those things into the framework?
Well, I would say failure as such, there is no definition to fail,
Yeah,
isn't it?
there's no definition,
How
there's no
can
measurement,
we?
there's no
Yes,
definition.
exactly. So we cannot label somebody with that word if he has not done something right or wrong.
Yeah, because for you it may be through that angle it may
Exactly.
be failure, but
Isn't
for
it?
me it might be looking as an
Yes.
opportunity. So
So
that's not a failure for her. She has
yes.
achieved this thing that can
So
come on
I
that.
think inclusion comes here in the picture, which is very, very important,
Mhm.
wherein we have to give different opportunities for a kid to succeed, isn't it? If a child is not successful in one thing, maybe try doing certain other things in such a way that the child can be successful there, so that that child is gaining confidence in the end, knowing that this is not the ultimate thing which I can do, but there are other ways of doing it as well. So inclusion comes in the picture by knowing that each child has a specific gift or a talent, and that child should not be judged. I would say all of them should not be kept in one jar or a tumbler, and then based on that they should be just put in that thing, and based on that
Labels
performance.
should be avoided.
Exactly,
in
labels should be
particular.
avoided, and for each child there should be different levels of competitions, different levels of examinations, I would say. If they can include that, nothing like it. I know it's very difficult for teachers, but if each child could be tested as per their
Potentials
potentials and uniqueness, I think everyone will be successful.
what legacy do you hope future generation should carry?
I think, yeah, I'll give you one example which is very close to my heart, and which I have learned over the period of time as a sports person that has really helped me, is celebrating each other's success,
Mm-hmm.
which is very rare these days, right? Everyone wants to win. Everyone wants to get those awards. Everyone wants that name and fame. But what if I'm not getting and my friend is getting it? Are you still happy for that person? Are you still celebrating his success rather than your successes?
We
Which is very
celebrate the team
important.
success also, and that
Yes,
takes us forward together.
yes, which is
Uh,
very important.
Generally, there is one Ubuntu, that African phrase is there,
Yes, yes.
which mentions about that when the children, they were just running to just hold that,
Mhm.
they stood there to make sure that everybody is in the same line. They hold their hands, then they run towards that to just get that. Gift what
Yeah,
is just kept there.
yeah,
When asked, they say that no, it is all together. Why should I alone have that thing? It's a beautiful concept of Ubuntu.
it is.
And okay, we have talked so much about your journey, about the resilience, about the girls participating in how the parents should be the light force for the children to just get into, what the teachers should explain, how the school should include everybody. Now, let us have little personally heart to heart.
Okay.
Okay, just which teacher or the coach changed your life and why?
Ah, I think Miss Kiran Kapoor was one of the teacher who literally holds a very special place in my heart, because
So
before I
beautiful. Yeah.
believed in
She was in
myself,
which class? You were
uh,
in which class when she inspired
she
you?
actually taught me when I was taking my life lessons, when I was learning. It was after I graduated. So she's the one which I literally remember, because I was in my senses at that time. I could understand, what she is trying to implement. I could understand what she is trying to tell me. She was the first one who believed in myself before I believed in myself.
And what gives you hope when you close your eyes and sit as a me time? What gives you the hope for the future of education?
When I look at the schools nowadays, since we are talking about schools, I'll take schools perspective only. So when I look at the schools nowadays, I feel all the schools are now thinking of having an all-round development. It's not only in the academics that they want to improve, but I would say that they've started taking sports on serious notes, which really makes me feel happy, because I know how sports play a role in the growth of a child or a student. It's not just academically they're making you brilliant, but they're making you as a complete overall human being who can
Uh,
face anything.
when have you learned the most? During winning situations or during losing situations?
Yeah, that's very clear to me. At any point of time, I would say failures are the one that teaches you more lessons.
That's so good to hear that. Generally, we fear with the failures, and that should be a stepping stone for everybody to step and bounce
Yes,
back.
true.
That gives you the strength.
Yes.
And what legacy would you like every young person to remember you for?
Well, I would say that if somebody remembers me, it would be that she taught us that dreams can be true. That's something I would want everyone to know, that dreams do come true.
What was that one personal value that has guided your journey the most?
Hmm. I think hmm, I'm literally thinking about it. I
There are
think
so
humility,
many.
which
Oh,
is very
humility.
important. Yes, staying humble, and also I would say doing the things right when nobody's watching you. Integrity,
No
which is
policing should
very
happen.
important. These are the
And
two things that have helped me.
if somebody has to know that who is Chaya Mughal, not as a professional or that status what you carry where the people admire you, but as an individual, which you wanted the people to know that, okay, this is Chaya Mughal in person.
Well, I think they should remember me as somebody who taught them how to fly, as somebody who shares positivity around. I always feel that whenever I enter in a room, I think people should get that positive aura from me. They should know it, that yes, she's the one. If we go to for certain things,
Approachable,
she is approachable,
humble.
and if we go to her, she'll give us a good advice or a suggestion. I don't want to be in good books of everyone, but I want to share my experiences and my knowledge, so that the benefits that I have got through them, it could be shared with everyone. I
So
don't want to
beautiful
keep
that.
good practices only with myself. I want to share it with everyone.
That's wonderfully shared. Now it's time to switch the gears.
Okay.
And here's a favorite segment. I would say that
Mm-hmm.
quick questions, instinctive answers, and lots of insight. Ready?
Okay. Yeah, always.
This is what we call perspective pulse.
All right.
And one word, one phrase, or one sentence to the max.
Okay.
Cricket in one word.
Passion,
Leadership in one word.
service,
Inclusion means
giving everyone a fair chance.
belonging to you is
Safe environment.
one quality every future leader must possess.
I think empathy,
Winning or learning,
learning,
a life lesson every child should experience before leaving school.
failures are pathway to success.
One habit that has changed your success.
Getting up when I feel I don't want to get up.
And one global challenge that education and sports can solve together.
That's a good one. I think isolation. It can remove that.
Complete this sentence. The future belongs to learners who.
Who dare to dream.
Okay, the last one now. That was a good one that you have cashed it up very nicely. That perspective pulse, what we say.
Okay.
Just if we have to close the discussion, what is the one message you would share to help us build schools where every learner feels included, every dream is encouraged, and every child is empowered to succeed both on and beyond the boundary?
I think I would like to give an example here by looking at the birds. How many different species or variety of birds are there? Isn't it? Millions, maybe. So many. Have anyone ever seen two birds colliding in the air? No, right? We have never seen them. Why? Because the sky is huge. Everyone has got a space to fly.
And they are disciplined.
They are disciplined, isn't it? When a bird wants to fly, that bird doesn't pull the other bird down, right?
They fly in
They
formations.
fly in formations.
Teams.
They fly in team. They value the space that they have got, right? They're not only sticking to one place. They keep moving around. I think the same way we need to follow it, right? The schools need to give every child that space to fly. Every child that space wherein they can shine. It could be anything. It could be arts, it could be sports, it could be anything that they want to do in life, isn't it? Then also kids need to learn from this is that if they want to grow, they don't need to pull anyone down. We've
Rightly
got
said.
enough space in the sky to fly. For each one of us have something or the other to shine up in the sky, isn't it? We don't have
Let's
to bring
give
somebody
the
down.
wings to the children to fly limitless
Exactly.
with their unique potential.
Yes.
And we say that sky is not the limit, but there is beyond that thing.
There is beyond that.
Wonderful. Thank you for reminding us that sport is far more than a game. It is a powerful classroom where resilience, leadership, empathy, inclusion, lifelong values all are nurtured together.
Mhm.
I would say that your journey beautifully illustrates that when schools embrace sport as an integral part of the education, they empower learners not only to perform well in the sports, but also to be belonging to that area, to lead and to make positive difference into the world. It was wonderful having a conversation with you, and thank you for your time, taking out from your busy schedule and then being here, addressing to our gathering and having such a wonderful talk.
Oh,
Thank
no,
you for
thank
being
you.
there.
Thank you so much for having
Hope
me
you
today.
enjoyed the
I
conversation.
literally loved it. And I think when we answer spontaneously to certain questions, I think it comes straight from our heart, isn't it? So there's nothing that is made up, or there is nothing that we plan or something like that. But out of the experiences, the things that we speak, it's going to definitely have an impact on the listeners, those who listen to the
True.
conversations,
And
right?
that's why we say we celebrate perspectives.
Yes, which is
The
very
tagline
important.
for Include Talks is that we celebrate perspectives from inclusive conversation to global impact.
That's amazing.
We don't know what global impact that one sentence, one word, one phrase can have when the children are listening, or when the audience are there to just cherish those discussions and celebrate those perspectives.
True, very true. Thank you. You've
Thank you
been
very
doing a
much.
great job. All the best.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Every classroom builds knowledge, every playing field builds character, and together they build the leaders our future deserves. Because when every learner belongs, every learner has the opportunity to shine. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your remarkable journey and for reminding us that sports is one of the education's greatest teacher. Your experience have shown us that resilience can be learned, leadership can be nurtured, inclusion can be lived, and every challenge can become an opportunity for growth. Today's conversations has reinforced a powerful message that when schools embrace sports as an essential part of education, they don't simply develop athletes. They nurture confident learners, compassionate leaders, resilient individuals, and responsible global citizens. To our educators, parents, students, coaches, and school leaders around the world, thank you for being the part of Include Talks. Let today's conversation inspire us to create learning environments where every child feels valued, every talent is celebrated, and every dream is given the opportunity to flourish. This is your host, Dr. SR, signing off for now. Until we meet again, learn, connect, inspire, empower. This is Include Talks, celebrating perspectives from inclusive conversations to global impact. Thank you.